BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello and welcome to BRB UK. It's a podcast about video games and random thoughts that pop into our head. There is no Dan, so therefore I'll be your host today. It is me, Coleman. Hi! And with me, Coleman, hi, is there, Tim. Hello.
Hello.
There you go. That kind of worked.
I forgot it was you. Even though I knew it was you introing, I forgot it was you and what that entailed. And I got quite scared by the start of your hello.
Apologies.
Other than that, I am quite good.
And we've also, returning from episode 400, the man who wrote our lovely episode 400, Ed Price.
You wake up in a dark cave. That's
no,
why we're doing another episode. I didn't tell you.
Hi!
I'm having flashbacks.
Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned, if I don't say hi in the first 3 minutes, I die. Or something. Good.
Well, at the beginning there, I thought you were going to do the Lion King there. That was such a sustained high.
Yeah, that's happened a few times.
Not surprised.
Who's
deep
ready
voice.
to talk about some gosh darn video games? Because there is news this week.
There's
I
quite a
need
bit of
5
news.
more minutes.
5 more minutes.
Partly
okay.
as we...
Well, while you gear yourself up ready, I'm going to introduce you to the next generation by saying, welcome to the world of tomorrow! Because we actually do have not just another new next-gen console, but we've also got a release date and some prices to talk about. And this comes from Xbox. So the long-rumoured Project Scarlet, which we got a name leak a little while ago thanks to the controllers that had broken street date of Xbox Series S, that has been revealed. Well, we've been going through this weird game of chicken between Xbox and PlayStation on who's going to pull the trigger on dates and prices. And someone else kind of pulled the trigger for them and leaked the reveal for the Series S at midnight. And Xbox instantly went, all right, fine, here's the announcement, here's the S, here's the price, here's the... that's all we got, specs and stuff for that. And this is a budget version of the Xbox Series X, initially, by most reports. And then upon further inspection, it appears it's basically the Xbox Series X. It runs fast, it does all it does your ray tracing and your frames per second and all this kind of lovely stuff you want. Smaller hard drive.
Does your taxes?
Yeah, smaller hard drive and not native 4K. It does a 4K upscaling instead. £249.
Yeah,
which is very, very good.
Yeah, not bad.
News part of the equation.
And also financing options available for the console as well, which I believe also gives you Game Pass Ultimate if you go through the financing options. That's a pretty...
Just like to say, as we predicted.
Yeah.
I mean, a number of people did, it was heavily rumoured a bit, but we predicted pretty much exactly this model a while before anyone else was predicting it, I think, as well, no?
Yeah, and I mean, we've spoken about this in the past. Xbox have tried financing models in the past and tested the waters way back in the 360 days, and the more recent versions being for the... what's the Scorpio called again? I always forget that.
What?
Project Scorpio.
Scorpio what?
What's the actual name of Project Scorpio?
What did it become?
Yeah.
Xbox One X?
One X, thank you. So Xbox One X,
Yeah.
that's when they started doing the financing stuff again, and it looked pretty obvious that it were going to carry that on to the next gen. So yeah, it looks like a pretty damn good deal, and especially, I don't know about you guys, I have a 4K television, but I play my games on a 1080p monitor, so 4K is not the biggest concern for me at the moment. And if it wasn't for the PlayStation exclusive as I'm after, this would be my pick of console right now.
I mean, when it comes to 1080 stuff, like, my TV is a 1080, and my PC, does that thing where, so on F1 2020, it's running at, 1440 and then downscales it to my TV. So I really need to upgrade.
I'm not sure that I'm not sure how much difference it makes between, seeing an upscaled 4K and a native 4K. I'm not sure how perceptible that difference is and how much that would make to my gaming for me to actually care. I do have a kind of base level 4K TV. I think we discussed before.
Yes.
I went with a smaller TV and a early 4K kind of model. It doesn't have what's the thing that they've got on current gen that HDR, it doesn't have that. And so I'm looking to possibly upgrade my TV shortly after buying a console, probably PS5. But I don't know, this also backs up something else that we were saying as well, that Xbox are doing what they can to kind of be your secondary console and make it really easy for, if you've already bought a PS5, here's the financing, here's the cheap option, you can still be there day one with an Xbox Series S. So I think that it makes a lot of sense, and they're positioning themselves in a good place in the market. Also, in current climate of people not having a lot of money, this is a cheap way for them to get in the next gen and not feel that they're missing out too much, kind of thing.
That's it.
And if people aren't going to be able to afford to upgrade their TVs, what's the point in shelling out the extra 200 quid or extra 150 quid or so for the bigger model if you can't take advantage of its features anyway, sort of thing. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
Also, one of the kind of selling features they've put behind this, they put it front and center in the trailer, is it's the smallest Xbox ever created. Which, when you look at the current generation of consoles that are coming out, you've got the PlayStation with all its... Oh, bang the mic. You've got the PlayStation with all its weird vents and stuff, and then you've got the Xbox, which is a block.
Yeah.
So having a normal bog standard size set-top box type thing looking console, I'm more happier with that.
It looks a bit like a speaker.
It does look like a speaker. That's for some reason they put a big circle on the vents, which has amused a lot of people. I like the look of it. I mean,
fine. I don't know why they didn't put like an X on top of that design, but...
Yeah, feels like Roger Rabbit's going to jump through the hole and end up in another murder mystery to me.
It's funny you say that.
One thing I find really interesting with it though is their strategy seems very much like the Xbox Series X seems like a very powerful mini computer. The Xbox Series S feels like like a very budget option, as we've discussed. And then from what I understand, the Game Pass is on PC. So it kind of feels like they've just sort of gone, look, we've got about 4 different options here. You're covered on everything. Xbox One is still going to be covered for a lot of titles, like Halo Infinite is still going to come out on that. And I think there's been a directive that a lot of the titles that they are making have to work on the One, the Series X, the Series S, and on PC.
The Microsoft family of consoles.
Yes.
I wonder how long they'll carry on supporting the Xbox One, but can we talk about name for a minute? Because I don't know about you, this being called the Xbox Series S did not give me more faith in the whole series thing being a good naming idea. The Series S and the Series X, I think it's really easily confused. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
I think it's a dumb name. I think Xbox Series anything is a dumb name, but at the same time, when your plan is, they're starting off with 2 consoles, I'm assuming there's going to be other iterations of the consoles down the line. Calling it the Xbox Series S, X, J, P, whatever you want to put there, it does establish the multiple consoles, at least on the consumer level.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. It's an iPhone strategy, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. A lot of people are saying that. It's not necessarily. This in itself, in isolation, is not necessarily the iPhone strategy, right? They're not planning on releasing a new model every year like iPhone do.
You don't know that. You don't know that, Tim.
No, but a lot of people are making that comparison. I'm like, no, it isn't. It's not the same as the iPhone strategy. It's not the same thing, and it's not the same naming convention. This is the naming convention when they ran out of the first 9 numbers and decided to go crazy. This does not add up. It doesn't work. And we made the same joke before, but they need to release an Xbox Series E in the middle just to complete the word, basically.
Good.
Thinking about it though, isn't the actual name for the new Xbox just Xbox Series, and then S and X are variations of it, you have models. PlayStation
exactly.
Pro. So because in my head, all the discussion is, well, this is the Xbox Series, So this is coming on Xbox Series or Xbox family of units, where like you would have, for example, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro as refined.
I do like the kind of idea that calling it Xbox Series implies, to me anyway, implies that Xbox is a service. That it's the Xbox Series, and these are just the hardware you're using to get to the Xbox Series, being the Game Pass stuff.
Yeah, and that sounds like a really good strategy, especially because EA Access is now going to be on Game Pass as well, which is a really good scope.
Yeah, EA Play, that's been added to Game Pass Ultimate. Well, it's going to be added to Game Pass Ultimate this holiday season. And again, done through a series of tweets. They kind of went to EA and went, hey, you want to put your games on our service? And they went, yeah, and did a couple of jokey tweets between them. And that makes... And I think I said it last week or the week before. In the trailer, they say it's the best deal in video games, the Game Pass, and I am inclined to agree with them. It is the best deal in video games.
Yep, and it just got better.
Yeah, and it's a better moniker than the Netflix of games. So, and sticking all the EA stuff in there as well, especially when we've got a new Star Wars flight simulator that I'm not particularly I'm interested in, but I don't particularly want to pay full price for it. So maybe rather than wait for a reduction, I'll just pick it up on Xbox Game Pass instead.
Yeah, this is less the Netflix of
PS4 because of
I know
PSVR,
VR.
So
I'll try your version first, and if it makes me feel sick, then I won't bother.
Sorry, I was going to say, it's basically like if Netflix just piled on Hulu. So rather than like the Netflix of games, it's like the Net Hulu of like Games Pass, essentially. That was a really bad portmanteau.
It was good. It's okay. I got what you meant.
I tried.
I liked it.
An effort was made. Unlike with the design of the Xbox Series S. There we go. Full circle.
I like the design. I don't know what you're moaning about. Although saying that, because as a joke, I mentioned to you two before we started recording, I made this GIF, and it was in Roger Rabbit, the Who Framed Roger Rabbit movie. They have these things called Acme portable holes, and it's just a black circle, and when you throw it against the wall, it's a hole. It's a lovely joke, and so I made a little GIF of the policeman throwing the hole, and it's the black dot on the Xbox Series S. But when I was doing that, obviously I had to Photoshop the black dot off of it first, and I went, oh, that is a really good looking console when you do that.
Yeah. When you take it off,
that.
It looks really nice.
It looks lovely.
Yeah, I've seen mock-ups of it in it with a white sort of circle rather than the black one that they've got. That looks a lot nicer. But as I said, I don't understand why they just didn't have a kind of painted or designed X on the grill in front of it, because I think it would make it look more Xboxy and also make it look less speakery.
I think it would look too much like the mock-up Xbox designs. If you've ever seen like the 100 and something designs they went through, a lot of them were just big X's. But I also like I see a lot of people online going, hey, can we I'll wait for the black model. Can I have the black model? And I love the idea that they just release a black model with a white dot on it instead.
Oh, that would be amazing. I do have a question for you two though. Who wore it better? PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series?
I like the new I think the new Xbox Series S is my favourite design out of the three consoles, just because Series X is a big black box and PlayStation is mad.
It's quite ugly.
But I like that PlayStation has a mad design, so...
I'm not totally sold on the PS5 design, but I'm not totally against it yet either.
No.
I'm as yet undecided and want to see it in the plastic, or, see it in person and see what it's actually like. But yeah, I'll reserve judgment until then. That was a weird thing I was thinking about the whole Gamescom last week. The one thing that we haven't really heard anything of, and understandably given present circumstances, but at this point in time we would normally have had a lot of feedback on what the controllers are like and what it's like to play on the actual console itself.
I think you'll find that Jeff Keighley did an in-depth live stream of using the DualSense.
Yeah, but we haven't had a widespread freer to kind of openly discuss possible problems with the pads and that kind of thing.
Oh
I don't even remember when I went over there. I really didn't like the Xbox One pad.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't totally sold on it, and still not to this day.
Well,
generally.
a few years back, just before the previous generation had launched, we got to go to EGX and try out controllers before the actual consoles were out. So. And make those comparisons on our own, but now we're kind of lumped in with everyone else.
I'm just saying there's an absence of general opinions, not just from us, but from
from the
wider
professional
gaming
press,
community, where we just haven't, and press and everyone else, that we just haven't heard. It's just one factor that we just don't know that we would normally have, solid opinions on by this point, basically.
So, a question to you two, is do you think it would have been better for both Microsoft and Microsoft and Sony, to delay it until maybe March or maybe even next year? Do you think that they actually had to release it this year and they're just sort of pushing forward because they don't want the other side to get ground first? Or whether if it wasn't for outside, they would sort of maybe think about moving it to another time of the year?
I think there's definitely an element of they went, one's gone holiday season, the other's gone holiday season, and they don't want to break that ground. But I feel they should have moved this probably to next year in the hope of economy stabilizing, people back to work, money building up. But it's, at the end of the day, if you've got diehard fans and you release a 500 quid console or a 200 quid console or something, people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What do you think the PlayStation 5's going to release at?
Well, that's the interesting thing, because I didn't say Xbox Series S. That is going to be launching on November the 10th, and we know this because also the Xbox Series X is going to be launching November 10th. So I think it's safe to say November is our next gen console release date month, and the Xbox Series X has been priced at £449, and that is a lot less than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think the X is about what I thought. I think the S is less than I thought. So
I think they're both good prices. I mean, obviously, if you can make anything cheaper, then I'm more happy to pay less money. But at the same time, the Xbox Series X, with the way they were kind of building the hype up, there was a lot of focus on the services. And even on the last Xbox stream they did, they went, hey, these are the games, and don't forget, these are all going to be playable on this generation, and also you'll be able to play them on Xbox One, and also be able to play them on PC, and everything's going to launch on Game Pass. And I really felt like it meant they're not particularly interested in the console over the service, and this is more of an advertisement for Game Pass. So when we found out there was going to be a cheaper version of the Series X, being in the Series S, I thought the X would be a much higher price. And much like when they did the Xbox One X, it's like the boutique console. You want the power, you're going to pay for the power. This is for the big fanboys, So I was expecting like 600 quid.
Yeah. The only problem I see with the S is that it's got such a small hard drive, you almost have to factor into the price buying in another external hard drive or upgrading that one, basically.
Yeah, that's true. And especially if you're in a country like Australia, where they have data caps and things, and downloading stuff downloading restrictions. I even heard it. I was listening to what's it called, a Weekly Planet podcast, and one of the guys on there was saying that he was downloading Avengers, but he bought a separate temporary data plan to download Avengers because he didn't want to take it away from his main one. And this Australia's mad. Mad Max is real. This is how it starts, with internet limitation. Those kind of play, I think there's going to be a bigger problem for that than, say, here, where it is quite open for us to have unlimited data plans, fair use policy applies and all that kind of stuff. But it is more likely that you could download a 100 gig game and then delete it when you're done and download a different game, but there are places that aren't as fortunate to have that.
But I guess the S makes more sense when it's in conjunction with the streaming service, the xCloud stuff as well. No, like that's where you're not bothered if you're in an area where you have good internet connection and you're not having any data caps. That makes this you're not having to download your games and being able to play them through this. That makes that an even bigger possibility.
Even though it's not a 1 terabyte SSD, it's a 512 gigabyte SSD. It's still an SSD. It should still improve performance and stuff. So that stuff is very feasible. It's just whether. Thing is, if your internet is strong enough to run streaming services and you don't have a data cap, so you can use data services, then the idea of downloading games and deleting them and re-downloading games and stuff shouldn't be a big problem.
It's just more of a pain in the arse than anything else.
It is, I'll admit.
Yeah, and the good thing is with the cloud is that it means you can get all the processing power and play with your mates. I'm looking forward to playing Crackdown 3. I don't know about you two, but I think it's going to be
the power of the cloud!
Hold on, Terry Crews is passing me a note. It says, oh.
Why is Terry Crews at you? This is why you should have a camera, Ed.
Yeah.
Just all you've got to do is just on the video stream, just have a picture of Terry Crews like slowly come up behind me with a big smile.
Don't give me more work. You know I have to turn this around in like 4 hours. Come on.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, I do also think that it's an interesting move. We've talked about this before again, but I'm kind of skeptical of leaks in the industry. They seem to happen a bit too often. I understand that they do actually happen now and again, but also it's kind of nicely timed in terms of it puts a date out there that's reasonably difficult for Sony to respond and get a date out before this and still have enough time to organise doing that. So I think it backs Sony into a bit of a corner because they don't really want to go afterwards, but are they able to go before at this stage now? So yeah, a good move from Xbox all round in terms of pricing, date and everything else as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to the PlayStation 5 launching on the 9th of November for £448.50.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going the Price is Right with it. I mean, between the two, like, I'll be honest, I'll probably end up getting the PlayStation 5 because it will have titles on there that I won't be able to play on PC. But because I recently upgraded my PC, like I got a 2070 Super and all that sort of stuff, like just getting the Game Pass sounds like the more viable opportunity. And I was saying to one of my friends recently that getting the Game Pass is probably just actually going to end up giving Microsoft more money in the long term, because if I'm paying them like however much it is a year and I'm going through and I have more incentive to play all those titles, I might end up becoming like a massive like Halo fan again, because I've not been able to play for like years and years because I skipped the Xbox One. But now, well, like with Game Pass, I'll be able to click a button and I'll be able to play all the Halos again.
I haven't seen this substantiated, but I did see something saying that Ultimate on PC is doubling in price at some point.
I heard, well, I've seen two different things. I've seen people complaining about that it's going up in price to $35, but then I've seen people going, hold on, no, that's the plan for financing the Series S that includes Game Pass.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that.
We'll look into that.
But I like that. I mean, they've made enough money out of me because now it's on PC. I use Xbox Game Pass all the time. When I was just using it on Xbox One, 3 games, I think, Sea of Thieves, Gears of War, and Crackdown 3. I think those are the only things I ever played on it. And now I'm using it all
so you're the one person playing Crackdown 3.
Well, I had to try to talk about it on the bloody show, didn't I?
You're the reason the service is still on. You're costing them money, Coleman.
I think I was the one positive review about it as well.
But to be fair, I've started using Game Pass just on my Xbox One quite a lot, as there's a lot more games on it these days as well.
Yeah,
like,
it's a great selection
of stuff coming to it, as I'll be talking about later in the show as well. But yeah.
Good. Also, there was we're going to gloss through this very quick. There's Nintendo news on top of this. We had a Super Mario Bros. 35th Anniversary Direct that was shown literally just before we started recording last week, and it kind of floated me by, so I didn't add it to the agenda, but we'll talk about it. I'll run through it very quickly right now. So I don't know if you guys know about this, but the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Bros., there was massive plans for it this week. It was meant to tie in with the opening of the Universal theme park, Universal Studios in Tokyo in Japan to add the Super Nintendo stuff. Super Nintendo World, not the console. And also there was the tie-in with the Osaka.
Added a Super Nintendo to the theme park.
There was also the tie-in with the Olympics that's
Kart
in Osaka, Japan. So, and that's because of COVID, that's all been put off. So all of this was meant to tie in together, and they had a bunch of game stuff. Now we're just getting the game stuff, and it might have been some stuff limited to because of COVID, because apparently Nintendo's been hit quite hard with this whole working from home stuff. But what we got is, first of all, there's going to be 35th anniversary in-game celebrations. So Mario Kart Tour will have special appearances from the SNES version of Mario and Donkey Kong Jr.
I think those are live now.
Those are live right now. That's from the 9th till the 23rd of September. There is a Ninja speedrun course that's going to arrive in Super Mario Maker 2 in November. There is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They've got an in-game online tournament using Super Mario Series fighters, stages, and items from November to December.
Finally, I can not be made a pariah for having Mario as my main.
Use Mario as your main.
I do in Melee. In the new ones, it's Corrin, Lady Corrin, because that's the only option. There's 74 fighters, and Lady Corrin's the only viable one. It's weird how that works out.
I've weirdly started using Joker, even though I've never touched Persona in my life. So, there you go.
I recently played through Persona 5 and platinumed it. It is fantastic. It will take like 120 hours.
I was going to say, what did you spend 100 hours?
About 120 hours.
Wow.
But I did do like everything. Yeah. It takes up a lot of time. And then I immediately went and played Persona 4 Golden. So, yeah, COVID.
Enjoy that. Splatfest in Splatoon 2, that is coming in January 2021, and that's going to be a Super Mario themed version. Which Super Mario power-up do you prefer?
Splatfest for everything.
Yeah, it's going to be Team Mushroom against Superstar. And you'll also be able to buy t-shirts and stuff to coincide, and keychains and things through my Nintendo. So, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
What would you pick, Coleman? Would you like to go big like a mushroom man or invincible like a star man waiting in the sky?
I mean, I had a very mushroom man looking haircut when I was in senior school, so with the step, you know, I think I could.
I mean, if you turned your head upside down right now, you could probably do a good facsimile.
Mario-themed furniture in Animal Crossing New Horizons. That's also going to be added in March 2021. Now.
Cool. I literally couldn't care about any of that so far.
That's fine.
Yeah, good.
Super Mario All-Stars. This is the collection of Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3, and Lost Levels, which is Super Mario Bros. 2 that was in Japan for the Famicom disk system. Those were released on the Super Nintendo. I don't know about you guys. These were my versions of Mario because I didn't have a Nintendo Entertainment System. I had a SNES. They've added these to Switch Online now, and I have been playing the holy hell out of Super Mario Bros. 3 on the SNES since it's been added every day.
Yeah, I haven't played any of them yet. I don't have that much of an affinity for them, but I might mess around with them at some point.
Yeah, I've not touched them on Switch Online because I'm a very stubborn man who 10 years ago got the 25th anniversary with All Stars on the Wii. And it's sitting in my bookcase right now. If I had the camera, I'd show you, and I'd be like, I had time now! There was time! But I did pre-order the 35th anniversary, which we'll get into in a second.
Okay.
I pre-ordered that immediately.
Super Mario Bros. 35. This one intrigues me, but infuriates me at the same time. So this is on the same kind of idea of Tetris Effect. No, it's not Tetris Effect. What was the
Tetris 99?
Tetris 99.
Tetris 99.
Yeah. This is a 35-player competitive online battle game where you all play Super Mario Bros., the original NES version. But each time you take out an enemy, it then flies off onto a different player's screen. 35 players. You have to be the last Mario standing, again, like Tetris 99. I like the idea because I really want to play this, and I really want to get competitive with this because I just love playing Mario. But the thing I'm annoyed about this is going to be much like Tetris 99. This is going to be exclusively digital only to Nintendo Switch Online players from October the 1st. But they put a date on it, so they're going to take it off on the 31st of March.
Yeah, that is an odd decision.
The 31st of March? Ah, well.
What I really want is I want them to do this with all their old titles. I want you to go back and do like Zelda 50, and you have to go through the first Legend of Zelda, and there's 50 of you at once. or like Super Mario Kart 99, and there's 99 of you going around a Mario Kart course, and every red shell hits everyone at the same time.
There's got to be
like,
a
I just
fan
want
mod of that
chaos
somewhere.
I want chaos, Coleman. I just want chaos.
Yeah. What about the Nintendo? The Disney Vault. Did Nintendo go? Yeah, we're going to do that at video games.
Well, I just think they want to have some like things that are exclusive just to the the period in time in which they're celebrating. I don't think it's anything nefarious or anything bad. I mean, it might encourage some people to buy a console, but I don't see that many people doing it for this and the other game coming up that we'll mention in a minute that they're doing that with as well. I don't see it as a major problem as long as you're telling people up front. It would be a problem if they just were pulling it and not advising people beforehand, no?
Yeah. A couple of physical things. So, first of all, Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers. It's basically a Game & Watch, but it's not in the old traditional little calculator-looking screen. It is a proper colour screen. You can play Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers Lost Levels, along with a special version of Ball with Mario's head on the little juggling man.
Yeah. I did like the look of this, I have to say.
Yeah, and much like the original Game & Watches, you can use it as a clock, and you can find 35 little Easter eggs in the game that you can discover. I think this is the dumbest thing, but I want it.
I think it's really cute.
Then it's not dumb, is it?
I love the Game & Watch, so I've always had an affinity for it.
When they did the NES and the SNES, everyone was kind of guessing, will they do a mini like Game Boy for the next year and stuff? No, they're going to do a Game & Watch. They're going backwards.
I mean,
but I kind of like it. Like
technically, my Raspberry Pi Game Boy is slightly ever so like half a centimetre smaller in diameter than the original Game Boy. So technically, mine is a micro Game Boy system. I think you'll find.
I've heard that about you, Coleman.
All right, ladies, mine's a micro.
Right, Tim, you have to wait till I've done this. Announce what this is before you comment, because I want to get you. Oh, sorry, the Game & Watch is going to be on the 13th of November. That will be available. I want to get your impressions on this Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, where you get RC carts with little cameras in them that beam a first-person camera shot footage to your Switch, which you're controlling the kart with, and displays like AR stuff, and you play Mario Kart against virtual opponents and real friends if they also have Switch and karts to play with. What's your take on this, Tim?
I'll be buying at least one.
Oh my god. My take was, look at this trailer. This kid lives in the biggest house with hardwood flooring, so he can do this.
Yeah, like that's not going to be easy, but there's going to be, like choke points going from room to room where the track tightens up on both sides. But yeah,
to be fair, my initial thought was New Year's party at Tim's. Yeah. Just us all drunkenly trying to get this to work while all maintaining social distance.
My thought for this, and it's the same thought I had when they initially announced Skylanders or the Star Wars AR lightsaber stuff from Lenovo. I've been born in the wrong bloody decade, because I would have loved this as a kid. Just annoying.
I think this is one of the best uses of AR I've seen so far. I think. I like just the fact that they've, thought out of the box slightly with something they can do with one of their properties that works, that's well known. It's kind of easy to understand what it is and how you set it up. Like, you kind of get the idea of everything just from the trailer. You set out different checkpoints, you then drive around them and choose your route to go through them, and then that sets the course. And then, they showed you can line actual physical objects up on the course so that you have to stick on it. And, do other stuff as well. But generally, it's just kind of superimposing the Mario Kart graphics and all the other races and stuff around you while you're zooming around and shooting them and stuff. It looked great. I thought it looked like a really good idea and really fun.
Good.
I didn't see any news on pricing on this, which
no, or dates or anything at all.
Yeah, but as I said, this is the type of silly toy that I will buy and play around with and have some fun with.
I'll tell you now, this will be game and kart Mario included in a big box, and then you buy separate carts along the way, and I will be the first to grab a Wario.
I was going to say Wario.
But you said that. What was there any evidence that there was other physical carts? Because I think it's just one physical cart against other.
I think there are other ones because in the trailer there was a Luigi one. Someone had a Luigi cart.
Yeah, no, there's a Mario and a Luigi one confirmed. I haven't seen any, and I think it would be more difficult to have two carts interacting in the same environment.
Well, I think it's up to 4 physical carts that you can have.
Really? Okay, that would be even more impressive and even more cool, and that'd be.
This isn't coming from any actual evidence. This is my prediction. I'm saying I reckon you'll get one cart and a game, and then you'll have to buy the others separately.
And the Waluigi ones will sell out day one.
Well, my different prediction to that will be it will just be Mario or Luigi, and you'll only ever be able to have one of them at one time.
I mean,
I think it will be limited to that.
There were I can't remember how long ago.
I don't know.
I definitely remember flicking through an Argus catalogue and seeing you remember those? And seeing a Scalextric set with Mario Kart on them, and that was just Mario and Luigi. I don't know if those exist anymore. We could do that. That's probably cheaper than this, whatever this will be.
Do that and just send it round the room and up. Yep, that would good. But yeah, we can race one of these against BB-8 at some time.
The one that I'm really excited for, Super Mario 3D World. So this was launched on the Wii U. This is coming to the Switch on February 21st. And they've made an expansion for the game as well, Bowser's Fury. So I'll be picking this one up. I love Super Mario 3D World. I think it's one of the unsung kind of titles of Mario. And not a lot of people played it because it was on the Wii U.
I loved it when it came out. I have very, very fond memories of playing that with some of my housemates, doing like 2-3 players, going through all that. So I'm very, very excited that everyone gets to play it again on the Switch. And I think that the new world should hopefully be good. I did misread it when the title first came up, and I thought it said Bowser's Furry. I was just like, well, it makes sense. He was Meowser in that one. He does.
That's what I was going to say. Meowser makes him a furry, doesn't it?
I mean, canonically, I don't know, and I'm scared to ask the people who I do know who could answer that.
Right.
I wouldn't. Let's move over.
The kind of headline.
All I know is after Bowser and Meowser, I think Bowser's got something going on he doesn't want to tell us about. He's going through some things.
Real Bowser or Doug Bowser? Not implying that Doug Bowser is fake.
My God, that'd be the perfect crime.
Real Bowser,
he tears
the
off his
fictional
mask,
character.
Mission Impossible style. Like he's just alone. Dun 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 dun. Tears off his mask, and it's the actual
Tom
Bowser. And then he tears off his mask, and it's actually Bowser. Bowser was Tom Cruise the entire time.
Oh my God!
That's why he couldn't act in anything other than Collateral.
The big announcement, the headline announcement from the stream was Super Mario 3D All Stars. So this has been announced for Switch. It includes Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, and then the sticking point is it's available from September the 18th to March the 31st, 2021. Not just physical copies, but digital. They're just going to remove it from the store. Why you do that, Nintendo?
I mean, the bigger question is, why isn't Galaxy 2 on there? You could have had 3 good ones. You could have had Mario 64, Galaxy, and Galaxy 2, and then ignored Sunshine Forever, where it belongs.
You're getting Sunshine, and you're going to like it.
No, I won't enjoy Sunshine again. I didn't enjoy it the first time, Tim. You can't make me. The
other interesting thing, because I was sent, basically, I missed the Nintendo Direct, and I was sent just this, the trailer for All Stars just before we started recording last week, and I took a look at it and went, oh yeah, okay, I'll pick that up. And then the more I look into it, I'm like, well, so they've made Sunshine widescreen, but they've not done it to 64.
There's probably a lot of programming reasons why that is the case, because it wasn't ever designed to be like that, if you know what I mean. Where if you play like a lot of GameCube games on emulators, you can very easily sort of like make them widescreen and up-res them, and same for the Wii. With like the Dolphin emulators and stuff. Not that I would know that, but
you've been told.
Oh, fair enough.
So I've been informed.
I would like to play through Super Mario 64 again. I would like to give Super Mario Sunshine another crack, because I kind of fell out of love with that one when it was released.
You and the rest of the world.
To this day, I think I've only ever played through the start of Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii, and then I never bothered going back to it because I was well into Xbox at the time.
You fiend! That's the best one, Coleman. That's
Well,
the
everyone
rapist
speaks
plum.
really highly
I
about
know.
it. That's the one I've never played any of, basically. But that's the thing with this for me as well. Then doesn't sound like they're going to be released individually. It's only as a collection, and then that pumps up the price because I can't really be bothered to play Super Mario 64 again. I accept it's a good game and everything else. I just have no interest in playing through it again. Super Mario Sunshine I have no affinity for whatsoever and don't really care about. Wouldn't mind giving Super Mario Galaxy, or if it's a refreshed version of that, a go. But probably won't want to pay the price of entry if it's gonna probably do the Nintendo thing of releasing a not a massive point if it's a remastering thing, but probably near full price, and then probably not come down in price. No.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I've nicked this from someone else's theory, but I could see them removing this in March and then down the line going, and now Super Mario Bros. 64 is available on its own, and Sunshine's available on its own.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, the pack has, and they'll charge more money than individually than you would have got them all together. So we'll see.
So no one else was gypped. Okay.
They do.
But also, I would have been interested to seeing if they would do 64DS, because Mario 64DS, that would have been like a nice. You finish the game, you get that as a free variant, for example.
Yeah, and they programmed that onto the Wii U, if I remember rightly, and you had modes where you had to turn the tablet to its side so it could display both screens on there and stuff, and it was interesting.
Exactly.
Oh no, that was it. If you were playing it on the TV, you had the bottom screen displayed on the tablet and the top screen displayed on the TV, and then if you turned it sideways to play it handheld mode, then it displayed the both, and it was very odd, but apparently very workable to do. But the camera's arse in that game, so I never bothered.
Yeah, the Wii U's quite good at playing like old DS games and stuff, because I've got like 2 DS games, like basically just the old Fire Emblems on Wii U, and I will sit there and be like, ooh, I get all the stats and everything on my tablet while I watch The Boys on Amazon. I haven't seen The Boys. Someone tell me if it's any good.
It's all right.
It is good.
Okay, fair enough.
UFC told me to watch
the
it.
series so far, but it is good.
Oh, yeah, because they did that last week, didn't they? The whole thing where they were putting ads in.
Don't do that. You're doing it.
It never goes down well.
It's been happening to WWE
anyone
games
think
for
it's
so
going
long.
to?
Don't do it to other games. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, there was one other bit of Nintendo news. This wasn't from the stream. I just thought I'd throw this in randomly as we're talking about Nintendo. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So a second Hyrule Warriors game. I'm all for that. I love the Hyrule Warriors, the first game and the subsequent 3 versions of the same game, but with different stuff added to them. I need to pick the Switch version up of this, the previous one.
Yes,
and
you do.
That. And do. But this one it's tied into Breath of the Wild, and it's basically all the battle that happens 100 years before The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Because in that game, you wake up 100 years in the future, you are Link, and through a series of flashbacks and things, you piece together what happened in the battle that's caused the start of the game, basically. You're now playing through that, but you're doing it in a Dynasty Warriors style. I'm up for this.
I'm super excited. It looks really, really beautiful. Like, it's very rare that you get a Zelda prequel that is like officially a prequel and not like in different places in the timeline. Like I say, it looks amazing. I really enjoy the Warriors series, and I just want this pumped into my veins, especially because it sounds like from the video that Nintendo were like very hands-on with the story, and like I can be completely wrong here, but my understanding of the video was that Nintendo just sort of went to Koei Tecmo, right, you do the gameplay, we'll do all the story, and we'll just make this like a nice peanut butter sandwich, baby.
Nice. That's a horrifying image.
Yeah, I'm glad you're excited for it, but once again, I just don't care. There wasn't much news here I really cared about. But
fair enough. You didn't really take to the first Hyrule Warriors, though, did you?
To be honest, this would probably interest me more than most Mario games that we talked about. But at the same time, not massively interested. Again, Zelda, not really a universe I care about too much.
That's November 20th. That's coming out. I'm going to be picking that one up because I bloody love some Hyrule Warriors. Don't know why I'm doing a song. Right, Tim, you better do your review game that you got to be talking about. And that is Doodle Derby on the Switch.
I'm gonna I'm going to split the review slightly because I haven't had an opportunity to play too much of the multiplayer yet, and that does look like it's a very different kettle of fish, basically.
Okay. I
yeah,
thought this was about
game called
cars,
Doodle Derby.
not aquatic life.
It is, not fish. But basically, yeah,
That's a lot of fish.
There's a kind of 1 to 4 player local or multiplayer, local or online competitive multiplayer, basically. So, and most of that seems to revolve around killing each other with tanks and other vehicles.
I love
aside
it.
from the cars. I've so far mainly played the single player game, so I'll come back next week and talk a bit more about the multiplayer. But I wanted to give it a mention because I think it's coming out today, the day that people are listening to this podcast, which is also the day the embargo is up, so I can talk about it as of now. I only just got it this week, but yeah, I've been playing it and enjoying it quite a lot, so I think it's a good one to look out for, basically. It's almost seemingly derivative of a few things, but then in a kind of unique enough package that it feels very much its own thing. It's got a kind of doodling style to its art style. It looks like a selection of childish doodles, basically. For example, the aeroplane looks like it was literally drawn by a 5-year-old.
It's got a similar style to that of Doodle Jump. I don't know if you guys ever played that on the iPhone back in the day.
I remember people playing that, yeah.
The other thing it reminded me of, in a way, is like Snipper Clips, I think it was called. One of the early games on
Snipper
the
Clips,
Switch.
Yeah,
it kind of reminded me of that. But it's also partly kind of reminding me of the kind of bridge constructor games and stuff like that as well. Because there is a element of like building the level as well. You're kind of solving almost a platforming puzzle, a 2D platforming puzzle with a car. That car it's got some like deliberately squiffy physics, if you understand what I'm meaning by that, and kind of, you have to worry about the weight distribution of your car and the kind of weight that it's going on in a kind of trials type manner. I'm using lots of other reference points from other games in this. But yeah, you're kind of, worried about whether the weight's going forward when you're landing on a platform, because that might carry you too fast over the edge of the platform, and you're having to kind of, get around that. You'll also probably die quite a lot. And some of the times that can be because the plan that you came up with and where you place the elements of the level within the level is a terrible plan, and you just keep on banging your head against that brick wall a few times before you realise, okay, no, I need to formulate a new plan here. But at any time, like once you're dead, you can just go, right, rebuild the level. And it's all quite quick to get in and out of each level. And choose, what you're doing. It kind of gives these different options where you can either, you don't get to choose usually, but there's usually crates in the environment that you have to like fly around and pick up. And then once you've picked those up, you can fly around the environment and distribute them where you like within the environment. And you've got a limited amount of time to do that. But that is different from the time that you have to race through the level, and you just have to try and do that as quickly as possible. There's also different objects in the level, car keys and a star. The car keys unlock more vehicles and more items that you can unlock and then use throughout the game. And the star takes off 5 seconds, I think it is, from your time that you're racing through. So sometimes it's better to go a slightly longer way round, collecting the star on the way, because it will knock off more time as long as you don't, waste more than 5 seconds picking it up, basically.
I've got a question, Tim.
Yep.
I was going to say, is it like Mod Nation Racers, or is it like Scribble Naughty in terms of like how you create?
It's more Scribble Naughty, but a bit more limited than that. Usually, like in most levels, you're given like, here's 2 or 3 objects, or 2 to 4 objects, and where you put them in the environment is up to you, and you need to get from here, from point A to a checkpoint, and then to the finish, basically from start to checkpoint to finish. And then it starts adding more checkpoints as you get later in the levels and stuff like that. And yeah, sometimes the solution to pick up some of the keys will be a separate solution from how you get to the end of the level. So you might have to actually solve a different traversal puzzle to get the keys, and then reset the level and go again. It also does something interesting where if you've built a level and go back to it, you can choose whether you just try and race and better your time with the distribution of the objects where you've put them, or whether you want to rebuild the track. And it seems to remember all the tracks that you've built so far, so you can go back to them at any point and go, right, okay, I've got things set up here. Can I do a faster time through this, or do I need to actually rebuild the track and make it better? And usually you're kind of solving the problems of getting over a gap or jumping up a level. So you can put a ramp in so that you go up that, and you've got a jump button as well, so you can kind of use your car to jump. And I said about the squiffy physics, there's a few things that you can kind of fudge. So if the front of your car is hitting into a wall, you can pull into that direction and jump to make it climb the wall, which is a bit odd and a bit weird to get used to at first. And again, like
it's very Steel Rats in that respect.
Yeah, in some ways it feels very precise, and in some ways it feels very squiffy. But it's satisfyingly annoying, and kind of one of those things where you're like, okay, I got 90% of the way there. I had to make the easiest jump I had to make in the whole thing, and I plummeted to my death. But I'm just going to go again. Just one more go.
It does seem to have... Yeah, I don't know if there's a quick reset on this, but it has a very... Yeah, it does have that one more go look to... I'd sort out footage for the video portion of the show, but it looks very nice.
Yeah, I found it odd at first that you couldn't reset, but you can just blow up your car at any time, so that doesn't really matter. So you can, as soon as you blow up your car, you start again from the beginning, and it's fairly instantaneous in terms of reloading. And it's also quite quick to get in and out of, even if you're rebuilding the level. I mean, in some cases, one of the things I'd like is it doesn't give you the ability to modify something once you've placed it.
Right.
And that can be annoying if you've placed like 3 objects in exactly the right place where you want to put them, and then there's one object that you accidentally put somewhere in the wrong place, and you had to reset the whole thing to put them back in. Like, that's one the only real criticism, but like generally it's quick and easy enough to place the stuff in the environment that it's not too much of a problem, basically. The only other thing is I found it a bit weird to navigate at times. Like, the menus, it's got one of those things where there's 2 options, and one of them is black and one of them is white, and it takes a while, even when you've worked out which one is which, it doesn't always necessarily correspond. It's one of those things where it's just a little arrow next to your thing on the menu would make a big difference, and mean that you know which one you're currently selecting. But yeah, like, gameplay wise, like, it's, as I said, it feels slightly derivative of other things, but enough of its own thing to be quite interesting and quite good fun. I think at launch or just before launch, I'm not sure, but it's currently 20% off, I think, until the 24th.
It's $6.59 RRP, and at the moment there's 20% off, so that'll take you down to £5.27 on the Switch.
Yeah. Which is the extra reason I wanted to mention it this week, because even without really getting into depth in the multiplayer, like, that looks like it could be quite good fun, and I've really enjoyed the single player, and it's already worth the price of admission of £5.27 for the single player, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's, as I said, I wanted to get this out there quickly so I could recommend.
It's also $4.99 on Steam, but this, just judging by the footage I've been watching and having a look at this game, this looks much better suited to having on the Switch in the handheld mode.
It's a really good sort of tube game, or just general pick
mobile
up and
distraction.
Play and have like it's really good for that. So yeah, as I said, recommend it for that already, basically. So I'll come back and report on the multiplayer next week as well. But yeah, as I said, a good hearty recommendation.
Good. That's Doodle Derby on the Nintendo Switch, and also available on the PC already. Both are available right now as this show comes out. Tim, I'm going to jump to mine if that's okay with you, and then we'll see if we've got time for yours.
I could literally say Wasteland 3 I've enjoyed. Like, so far, it seems quite good. It's on Game Pass, go give it a try. Like,
all right.
Yeah.
I was hoping for something more in depth, so that's why I was saying.
Okay, well, I mean, I could just say it's, turn-based, and I like that, and it's got some really interesting mechanics and lots of RPG elements and stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay.
It looks good so far. I've been playing it for a few hours and still haven't got out of my base yet. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it seems good.
I've been playing Tony Hawk. Well, actually, first of all, I've been playing Marvel's Avengers, and I completed the campaign, and I bloody love that game.
Why haven't you talked about that? Really? See, I didn't pick it up, but maybe
I noticed.
Maybe.
I
didn't have much time this week anyway, so it seemed pointless, and I thought I'd wait until you did like it, possibly.
If
you hated it and I'm not going to play it.
I beat the campaign, and then after that I did a few multiplayer things, but I've been so busy with work, and plus I had to play this week's game, so let's talk about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. Just rolls off the tongue.
I have heard good things. It's not 3, but it's not Tony Hawk's Skater 3.
Well, it's got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, which is the best Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, although I'm more partial to Tony Hawk's Underground series more than the...
I wasn't really commenting on that. I was more commenting on the fact that 1+2=3, Coleman.
Oh, all right.
And 3 is the best one on Metacritic. It's like one of the greatest rated games of all time, apparently.
All right. I remember there was Mad Capsule Markets on the soundtrack for 3. That's about all I remember of 3. Good.
I know that there's like a Star Wars character. I think you can do Darth Maul. You can do some sick grinds of Darth Maul.
I think that's
in 3.
Tell me about 1+2, Coleman.
Right, okay, so this is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, a combination of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, mixed together and remade in a beautiful style. So this has happened before. They made Tony Hawk's HD on Xbox Live Arcade, which I bought, and unfortunately felt nothing like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and was just a git to play and get the hang of. This one, although I've jumped in and I've got a much older man brain and the reflexes aren't as they used to be when I used to really...
Much older man brain?
Much older man brain, and the reflexes aren't as quite... I'm not firing on all cylinders as I used to be as a child when this first came out. It's there, the muscle memory's there, so after a couple of kind of crashes, I think I'll put my first run in the video as well so you can see how bad I was starting off. But yeah, it feels, it's Tony Hawk's game, and it feels like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the series in general, and I really like it. The way they've done the improvements, it looks absolutely cracking. First of all, it looks a lot better than 5 did, and I know 5 was very rushed and thrown out by basically a publisher that didn't care about the franchise anymore, but now they've got it back.
Chris, there is no Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. I don't know
there
what
isn't,
you mean.
because they shut down all the servers, so that game is pretty much just a lobby now. But I think they still sell it, which is odd. Anyway, this kind of... I was the one person that went, hey, I like Tony Hawk's 5 because it plays like Tony Hawk. This one plays more like Tony Hawk, so I'm much more happier. What they've done with this is got a collection of the older skaters plus new skaters. They've taken the old track, added new sounds and stuff to it. They've taken all the original characters, the original skaters, and redone them so they look like their modern counterparts, but you can unlock older versions of them as well and stuff. Jack Black's in it for some reason. Now he's off.
Have they got young and old versions, or just the old versions?
I believe it's you've got the older versions, and then you can unlock parts to kind of customize them to make them look like the younger counterparts instead. I've not done any of that because I've gone custom. I've made myself a Coleman. He's got no hair. He's got a face mask on because COVID and all that stuff. He wears a Hawaiian shirt. Good. The thing they've kind of done, so yes, if you're looking for a nostalgia trick of Tony Hawk's, this is it, and it is really, really well done. You're not going to get all the madcap secret unlocks and stuff, because what Activision used to do was go, what do we have licensed for at the moment? Let's just chuck a version of that character into the game. So you get mad
Spider-Man.
Stuff. No, you get Spider-Man, Wolverine, Darth Maul, Shrek's in one of them, a Call of Duty soldier. Gene Simmons is one of those games. They just throw in whatever they had, basically. And you're not going to get that this time around. Like the biggest thing, which also it did get leaked, like I said, they put Jack Black in the game. There's a character in Tony Hawk 1 called Officer Dick that you could unlock, and he's a fat cop, basically. They've taken that character, made him into more of a security guard, and changed it to be Jack Black, and he's voiced by Jack Black and looks like him and stuff.
Okay.
So that was the only thing. They've taken like a skeleton from one of the skating companies and made that a playable character, but that was for the super edition that you had to pay an extra 10 quid for, and I'm not down for that. The kind of big change they've made to this is that with the older two Tony Hawk games, you take a character, you play through the game, you unlock goals in each level, and then when you wanted to play as a different character, you'd start again and redo all those goals again. And they tie a lot of the unlocks and film sequences and stuff that they show you in the game to that character. What they've done this time around is when you play through, those goals can be unlocked with one character, and that will transfer to everyone. What they also do is there's stats that you find in the game, like hidden stats, and then if you find it, you can boost your character. Those reset with each character. So, it kind of shortens the experience, but I think what they're going to do, I mean, it's Activision, so I know they're going to add DLC stuff in later down the line and sell you a bunch of stuff. But as it is, playing it as it is without adding stuff at the moment, pretty flipping good game, worth the price of admission. I think it was $35.99, I want to say, on Epic's Game Store,
pretty good.
Xbox and PlayStation. Really, really good. If you've ever been a fan of the Tony Hawk series, especially the first two games, this is worth picking up.
Coleman, I have a question. In the absence of Dan, I have a question.
Go on then.
Can you do a grind?
Of course you can do a grind.
Can you do a pop shove it?
You can do a pop shove it.
Can you do a 900? Do
you can do a 900. Do you know what? I've attempted several 900s and I fall flat on my ass every time.
Can you do a dark slide?
You can. I think you can do it.
Can you lick it? Can you bop it?
Are you just look? Are you going to now start saying bop it, twist it, pull it?
Yeah, I was immediately about to do that. I'm very predictable. But I was also just naming every skate trick I knew.
Oh,
were you impressed?
I have another question though, Coleman.
Yes.
Slightly more sensible.
Yes, you can do a 720 melon, Tim.
No, I wasn't going there. Wait, yeah, like I think it was 3 that introduced, was it traversals they call the mechanic, where you can go from like one set of tricks to another by like doing a handstand or
you basically spin the board around and then do a manual and then jump into a grind and
manuals.
Yeah,
I think that was what it was called, the manuals.
Yeah, the manuals are available.
That wasn't originally in 1 and 2, and that's something they've put into it in this version, right?
Yes. You can do manuals, wall plants, traversals, acid drop, everything.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm wary of, because I liked the original games more than I liked 3, because I didn't like when they brought that mechanic in, because I didn't get on with it as well. Like, I just thought it kind of, I don't know, it made things a bit more fantastic than they needed to be, kind of thing. And I don't know, like, it might be more realistic, that might be something they actually do in skateboarding, but it just felt like it was always linking one thing to the other, just made the whole score thing go stupid.
Mate, the way I play Tony Hawk is nothing realistic about it. I will look for the nearest circular thing to grind on and then just do 20 million grind tricks and jump off and go, ta-da!
And plus, if this new Tony Hawk's does well, then that means that they can like finally release one where you actually have a real skateboard and you can do the tricks in real. Wait, hold on, Tony Hawk is passing me around.
Don't give him ideas. Although they could do a good VR version, like I think that could actually work reasonably well. I mean, don't want you jumping up and down too much, but you know, I think they could do something.
I think there is a perfect opportunity to go right. Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 did really well. Let's do Tony Hawk's 3 and 4, and let's do Tony Hawk's Thug Underground, whatever you want to call it, 1 and 2.
The Thug Anthology. Yeah.
I love the Thug games, even though they are very of their time, especially the one that was Bam Margera.
Being slightly stuck in as a deer in headlights between whether I was picking up Tony Hawk's or Marvel, I've not stuck in the middle and not picked up either of them, basically. So, yeah, I'm kind of maths helped me decide it a bit this week, but then I also kind of went, yeah, maybe I'll just wait for both of them to drop in price slightly and then pick both of them up.
But either way, we can play some
rather
multiplayer.
Yeah.
I do actually have a question about Avengers, Chris. Do you think that it's something that if Tim and I picked up later down the line, it would be better off if we did that? Because then there'd be like more updates and we'd be able to sort of
I think it depends how level scaling works, especially if you want to. It's like Destiny, Destiny launched and some people played and then dropped off of it and came back to it later. But by then, all their friends are a million levels above them, so it was kind of pointless playing with them. So you'd have to find your own kind of community.
But can't you like level up a new character with us at the same time, and that would work reasonably well? No.
Mate, you think I'm not going to have all my characters at level 150 by the time you're on? I'm well into Iron Man in this game.
He's going to be able to create his own unique Marvel character. He's going to be like, this is Coleman, and his power is fossil fuels. Please do not steal, Disney, please. No, this is all I have.
Original character, do not steal.
But yeah, I do think it's one that might drop in price fairly quickly, maybe as well. So we'll see. I don't know if that's a bad bet, but I know I've seen real mixed reviews for it so far in terms of like the headlines of people sort of describing their experience with the game. Like some people seem to literally really get on with it, and other people really don't. And no one seems to like the business model. And a lot more people are being vocal about that than the actual content of the game. Yeah,
I was a little bit more mellow on the business model. Last week, so I was like, well, do you know what? I've looked at it and I can just ignore it. This time round, the more I've played it, and then I've realised there are costumes, like legendary costumes that you can buy that are only available for a timed release if you buy them with microtransactions. And I don't like that. Because there's I don't particularly... I like Captain America, the movie version of Captain America. I never liked him in the comics when I was a kid. And I really hate the Captain America costume, but I like the film costumes. They basically gone...
His little silly ears.
Yeah, and they basically gone, if you want a film version of the costume, you got to buy it, buddy. And we've only just given you just enough of your currency, of your fake dollars to buy that. Just under it, so you have to buy more. Yeah, I've got Iron Man. And he gets an Iron Maiden track in the game, so that's good.
You ready? Okay.
Yeah, I like Iron Maiden and I like Iron Man, so it works.
Just like
Iron Maiden Man.
Yeah, Iron Maiden.
Any old iron for Coleman.
Any old iron. And that's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. I've been playing it on the PlayStation 4.
Equals 3.
Yes, let us know what you think of Doodle Derby and Tony Hawk's. It's very good.
I have actually played something that was released recently. If you want to give me 2-3 minutes, I'll try and keep it as short as possible.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm. So the caveat for this is it was edited by my good friend Rick Kelly. It's a game called Lovingly Evil. The way that I would summarise it, the elevator pitch is, have you ever wanted to f*** Satan? Because now you can.
Right.
So in Lovingly Evil, it takes place in an interdimensional, business-to-business, expo. So you sort of go around, there's, loads of talks. So it's things like, how to improve your henchman, or how to, work on your monologuing skills. And as you go around the convention, you can meet different characters. So
it's the Satan, bad guy convention from the Minions movie. I'm the only person who saw the Minions movie.
Apparently so. So, you can meet characters like Satan, there's a robot that achieves sentience, there's a vampire that's been living for 1,500 years, there's a clone of yourself, and an evil stepmother. And across the 4 days of the expo, you can meet all the different characters and basically try and seduce who you want. I've 100% of the game, I've gone through every single path, ask me anything. It's a really, really funny game. The humour is just really spot on. There's one of the first exchanges that I really loved is when you're talking to the robot character and you're trying to explain the dating scene to her in real life, and she makes a remark and the in-game narrator goes, she seems very excited at the possibility of ghosting you in the future.
Yeah. I like that.
Things like that. But it's just it's a really charming, really well put together game. It handles like LGBT stuff really well. One of the characters is non-binary and is handled really well. The vampire stuff sort of like tries to ignore like Twilight cliches, but it does lean into it for like a good couple jokes. Basically, the script is like really charming and funny. The only real drawback is the mini games are pretty much things where you will play them once and go, okay, I get it, and then you will never want to touch them again. But luckily, you can turn off mini games in the menu and just concentrate fully on the script.
This is a dating sim then?
Yeah, it's a dating sim. It's like Dream Daddy and stuff like that. Sorry, I should have mentioned. It's on Steam at the moment.
Right.
It's only recently released. It's, as far as I'm aware, it's solely on Steam. I think it's quite cheap. It's like $7.99, I think, I want to say. But just really well put together game. You can go through all the paths within about 6 hours if you know what you're doing. With the minigames turned off as well, but I had a really, really fun time. So, if you've ever wanted to f*** Satan right up, give this a go. I will say that you don't actually have that happen in the thing, but you can seduce Satan, you can seduce a vampire, you can seduce a robot, and you can seduce a clone of yourself. So,
and it's got skeletons.
Is it an
and
evil
I like skeletons.
clone of yourself?
Yeah, it's an evil clone of yourself. Like
it
wouldn't be an evil business. It wouldn't be an evil business expo if you were. I mean, you yourself play a supervillain, so right at the beginning as well, you can sort of like decide different parts of your backstory, like why are you evil? Oh, someone came to my village and killed everyone but me, or I just really feel like it.
Damn, Devil's buff.
Yeah,
he looks like Fabio. Fabio with ram horns. Wow. Okay.
If you're looking for a cover image, I can send you the image of when you complete the Satan path.
I've got the cover sorted, but thank you. Right. Actually, send it over. It might be the iTunes image. So, Lovingly Evil, that's on Steam for $9.99 on Windows and Mac.
Yeah, definitely give it a try. Caveat, I know the script editor. He's a very lovely man. He has actually said to you two he's more than happy to come on and talk to you about the game if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have mentioned, I just realised, although it hopefully was obvious that I was speaking about Doodle Derby before release, but yeah, I received a review code of that. Just forgot to mention that.
I did mention it was your review game.
Explicitly stating that, yes.
It's fine.
We didn't explicitly state review code, so I just thought I'd mention it.
It's all right.
Yeah. I know. It's all ethical. It's all above board. I'll pass you the money for me talking about Lovingly Evil later.
It's about ethics in games journalism.
Don't say that phrase.
And we all know that.
It brings dark things out of the woods.
Like a buff, homosexual
sexy Satan.
Buff Satan.
Good.
Buff Satan.
Satan. I love it. Right, that is
my
all
new
the
spirit
games.
guide.
Stop it, you. Right, that is all the games that we can talk about this week because we've got to go. But before we do, we've got a little bit of housekeeping. Tim, plug Gosh.
Anyone that hasn't heard in previous weeks, we have been promoting at Geek Out for Gosh. You can check them out on Twitter and other social media platforms, Facebook and other stuffs. But yeah, you can also just go to their website, go to the Gosh website and check Geek Out for Gosh is generally the quickest way to do that. But yeah, if you haven't heard in previous weeks, it's basically a way of raising money through playing video games, which at the moment, considering we can't do much else to raise money, is a good thing to do. You can either do your own streaming and raise money through that, or you can support someone else that's streaming. And as we said, it's a good time to do that because it's a really hard time for hospitals, particularly, but generally anyone raising money at the moment and fundraising. Video games is a way that we can do that at the moment, so please join in where you can and try and raise some money or just raise some awareness for at Geek Out for Gosh.
Jolly good. No Tabletop Tuesday still, but London Loading Dalston is open again right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure when Brighton is.
Yeah, I believe so, but you have to book a table in advance. Book in advance. Very, very in advance.
Yeah. Drink, Relax, Play on Twitter for more details, and also loading.bar, the website, which genius URL. Why did we not get big red dot barrel or something? Tim?
Well, maybe. It's not too late.
I'm gonna have to. No one steal that. I'm gonna look if that's a. No one take it. If there's a vanity URL we can have, we're having it. Or BR Barrel.
Why are you saying this? Like, you could just edit this part out
Well,
and you've got a day in advance of recording. You have a whole day to get the Vanity website.
Day in advance, my foot. I've got a 4-hour turnaround time, mate.
You have 24 hours. Beep.
This is 24 season 10. Coleman frantically trying to get this done.
Good.
You have to edit a podcast, register a Vanity URL, and save your daughter from a puma.
I've never seen 24, so I don't know if this is relevant.
Neither have I.
There we go.
All I know is that there's a puma.
So you didn't get that reference, but yeah, that was the most ridiculous thing that happened in that show that did actually happen at one stage. Anyway.
I have seen more of the PlayStation 2 video game of 24 than I have of this TV series of 24. How's that?
Good. You've probably seen more Simpsons references to it as well.
Oh, yeah, and that too. SNL. Like, anything that's got... Yeah. That was around for a hot minute. Of course, before we go, we'd like to say thank you to the listeners. Thank you, listeners, because without you, we'd be talking to ourselves.
Are we not doing audience questions?
Well, we're getting to that. Hold on.
That's what he's building up to.
I can't remember what order things go in. I'm very confused. I've been very confused by Sexy Satan, and now I'm just confused about everything.
It's fine. As a way of saying thank you to our listeners, we do like for you to get involved with us in this here show. So you can do that by going to bigredbarrel.com, going to the comments section of this here episode and asking us questions, giving us feedback, suggestions of other games, random brain musings that you just want read on a podcast for some reason. But you can also do that on the other avenues available. So on bigredbarrel.com, there is a link to our Discord, which is a really cool place to be hanging out. A really cool place to be hanging out, says the 36-year-old man.
Really cool place.
Really cool more like an old dad when you say that, please.
It's really groovy, don't you think, you cool cats?
You need to put some more dad jokes in when you're saying that, just to make it more.
You know what else is cooler, Coleman? Abstaining before marriage.
But also available is our Facebook page, Big Red Barrel on Facebook and Big Red Barrel on Twitter. You can chat to us on there as well, so do that. We have had some feedback. Well, we've got 2 questions that we're going to read out on the show. First is from Sky Dark. He has actually changed his format of questioning now. He has written, I have a question. With Resident Evil getting a Netflix series and Witcher, Castlevania doing well, what video game would you like to get its own series?
Just add to that, Dragon's Dogma, I noticed is coming, I think,
next
month, or maybe early next month. So that's on the way as well.
And there's that,
it's a even more pertinent subject.
And there's that Fallout series coming to Prime.
I mean, universes that I would like to see... Again, maybe just because it's on my mind because I answered it in a previous week's question, but Jet Set Radio?
Ooh.
I'd quite like to see something in that. But then, I don't know, there are other universes that I'd like to see explored. I mean, Cyberpunk one that's coming up, I imagine they might do something with that, considering they've had quite a lot of success with The Witcher. So I imagine that might be a plan, and that might be a good one for upcoming stuff. I mean, there's a few things that have tried and failed, and like Halo, that didn't exactly.
There was a Mortal Kombat series.
Success of that sort of thing. Film's better than series generally from what they've done there. But I mean, I don't know. Like, what else could? Trying to think of other universes recently.
I can dive in with 2 of my own while you think of one.
Go on then.
So the first one would be the Yakuza series, because a lot of that is very deep political, tense dialogues anyway.
Sometimes
and then you can
talk
sort of
to a
have some. Yeah, and you can beat people up with bicycles. It's the greatest series ever. I don't know why people aren't jumping on this series more. But yeah, that could be something where you have all these great big fight scenes. There's a lot of intrigue. There's a lot of plot twists. There's stuff to keep you going from episode to episode. And then there's the big pie in the wall concept. It would be a one-off series of Mass Effect, but done like Bandersnatch, where at certain points it will stop and go, what do you want Shepard to do now?
Or
the player character.
Who do you want to kill?
Yeah. I reckon that could be... It would only be able to sustain a single season.
Always kill Kaiden.
I'd rather
But-
an
Anyway,
actual Mass Effect series rather than the gimmick series, to be honest.
I mean, it wouldn't be like a
I
one-to-one
like
of
that
like the
idea.
original Mass Effect, but I like the idea of doing like Mass Effect as its own series. But if you had to have a gimmick, do it like Bandersnatch, where it's like several episodes where you can
And
just
put
pick
it
a.
in, just make the really important decisions. You could actually like map out the really important decisions from the games, and
Yeah.
and just have a series that doesn't stop as much as it would if you were playing a video game type thing.
We
That
can
could
do
be
it now.
interesting.
We have the technology.
We have the power.
We can rebuild it.
Yeah, Mass Effect's a good shout. I was also thinking Horizon Zero Dawn
Mm.
be a good one that we haven't really seen that sort of media from yet. But
They might get a
quite
good story out of that. They haven't so far, but it won't stop them trying.
Ooh.
Going back to your Mass
Shots
Effect
fired.
idea, I really like the idea of making a film.
Also Spider-Man.
Sorry. I think we've had enough Spider-Man series, and we'll probably get more.
Me photos of Spider-Man.
Going back to
Get
the
me
Mass
serious as
Effect
Spider-Man,
idea,
damn it!
I really like the idea of, and I think Mass Effect would probably be the best one for this, doing a series that ties into the game in that the game has happened. This is a universe where the game is the main story, but it's happening off
and tell
elsewhere.
the story of what happened
Well,
after
and
you
instead,
were there. Sort of thing.
instead you have an anthology series that involves different characters around the universe, much like they try to do with the spin-off Mass Effect game, but better, and a TV series. So you're not necessarily focusing on one person all the way through, but you could jump around to different species, maybe working in a bar on a citadel. You could someone like a farmer on a planet somewhere.
What, so
different
like
stuff.
what Garrus was doing when you weren't trying to shag him, basically.
Yeah,
and
that kind of
like that.
stuff.
That, or you do it as a prequel series like the Silmarillion, and you get like all the different Krogan things, and you get the Krogan War, and you get how the Solarians like came up with the Genophage and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But again, an anthology series,
That'd
it
be
doesn't have to,
interesting,
not everything has to be part 1, part 2, part 3.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could jump around different characters, different times, and all sorts. I love that idea. I'd say with the success of the Lovecraft series that's recently come out, I would like a Bloodborne series, speaking of Lovecraft. And also, I really like the idea of a Street Fighter live-action series, just to throw that out for you, Tim, where we kind of just follow the adventures of Ryu going around the world and
Where it's
kicking
just
the,
you versus me.
kicking
You
the
can be
crap out of
Ryu,
people.
I'll be Ken.
It's worked before. Everyone remembers the film very fondly.
Yeah. But better.
Yeah, like the Legend of Chun-Li.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, I thought of another good. I did think of another good one that I'd like to see a series from, though.
Go on then.
Titanfall.
Oh, yeah, Titanfall could work too. All right, we
Big-
can
I
get
reckon
Big
that'd make a really good movie.
Big story.
Put
Yeah.
your suggestions on Discord, Twitter, and all Facebook, and let us know what your ideas are. There's a bunch on the Discord already, and they're all really good ideas. And quickly, Tendo Pete, he's asked a question for the podcast. That's not how you ask a question. What game? What is a game that you can pull out, or that can pull you out of being in a bad mood, regardless of how many times you've played it? Apologies for the bad reading. I don't think I have one of those, but I don't do this very often, but I used to, if I'd had a particularly crappy day in my old job, I would go home and put on whatever WWE game I had at the time and turn off DQs and time limits and just absolutely massacre the opponent, bust them wide open, put them through the announcer table, then the other announcer table, grab weapons and start wailing on them, take the padding off the turnbuckle and smash them into... And I could have a good 45 minutes match of just getting my aggression out that way.
See, a lot of people talk about using fighting games to get out aggression, and I don't find they're always a good outlet, especially like things like Street Fighter and stuff like that. They can make you more frustrated.
Yeah, they can
especially
they
at,
can
like,
definitely
higher
tense you
levels.
up.
Yeah, like I don't find them good for that. Like I'd say just like generally computer games can help me de-stress and kind of, like get out. So whichever game is currently, the mind worm in my kind of mind of like whatever game I'm thinking about when I'm not in my computer is like the one I want to kind of sit down and play to kind of, de-stress me and take me out of a bad mood. But yeah, like I guess there's some funny games that I might kind of tend towards if I was really thinking in that kind of way, like maybe a Portal 2 or something, or something to try and alleviate the mood because it's an actual funny game that will placate me in that manner, basically. But generally, otherwise, just whatever game I'm currently playing. Generally.
I don't know if it ever lifted me up, but I know when I was having my own problems being
like the wind beneath
down,
your wings.
Well, I would play a lot of GTA Online and just kind of lose myself in that game.
Yeah,
nice.
But
any game you can lose yourself in is good for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say it kind of lifted me up out of my depression. It was just something to kind of ignore the world with, and Sims as well.
Video
before
games
that,
are good at
so,
that.
Yeah. Ed, have you got an answer for this?
So I don't really tend to replay games over and over. I used to when I was younger, but now I have like my how long to beat like list is something like 100 games long. So
yeah,
I
you
need to
can't be
start
replaying games. You've got Persona 5 to get through.
No, I finished that one. I finished that. I've just finished the Yakuza series, so that was my answer until I finished like even the spin-off last month. I haven't played Yakuza Dead Souls, but I've been told maybe not do that one. But that would be my go-to because like if I was ever frustrated, I'd either be distracted by the nice plot, or I could pick up a bicycle and just brain someone to like injury with it. Just, it's just a very good series. That or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's one of the two. But the Yakuza series.
Fair enough.
That's a good one to just relax into as well.
You can't be mad if you play. I mean, actually, no, that's a lie. You can be mad if you're mad if you're playing Mario Kart. Because you get to the end
Especially
and then
if you're
some
playing against
git
Ed.
throws a red bloody shell at you and takes over.
Wait, it's because I do time trials to relax myself because I'm weird. And so, like, I will, like, beat my tummy and be like, and then I'll start getting frustrated when I'm just, like, I'm a 10th off and I'm like, I could have nailed that corner. I know I could have. So, yeah, it was the Yakuza series until I finished all of them last month, and now I'm just waiting for 7. Please, Sega, can I have 7, please? I've been a very good boy. I finished all of my homework.
Are you excited for Like a Dragon?
I'm super excited for Like a Dragon. Like,
I am
you
weirdly
have no
excited for
idea.
it, and I haven't played a single Yakuza game.
Yeah, like the RPG. Well, because I just finished Judgment, the spin-off, like last month as well, and I like sat down and I like properly involved myself in it. And so that's like the swan song to the old fighting style, where now we've got like, the new RPG system. There's a new character, and like the graphics look insanely good. I've seen a couple clips here and there. It's just I'm super mega excited for it. I do actually have a question for you two and for the readers at home. Mm-hmm. If you could make any game into a musical that you had to take to Broadway, what game would it be and why? Keep in mind, I've already called all of David Cage's games as one long fever dream like Cats.
I like it.
And also, when you do it, what will be your title song? Like, what will be the song that everyone remembers, like Misery or Memory or whatever it's called?
I'd watch a Monkey
If we're going
Island.
into this question, I'm going to need to go and come back.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Chris, Monkey Island.
I'd quite happily go for a Monkey Island musical. I love Monkey Island, and I mean a Monkey Island film, a Monkey Island musical, a Monkey Island TV show. You do anything with Monkey Island, I'll be in on it.
Yeah. Has Tim mentioned that we met Ron Gilbert once? It was a really good time.
Yes.
Ron Gilbert threatened to call security on us.
Yeah, I listened to the show when he was talking about the cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, him calling security was a joke, but like I like saying that to people because they're sort of like, really? No, it was
I found a photo on my phone when I was going through old photos the other day, and it was the moment where you went off to go find Tim Schafer and left us, and I found him at the bar, so I took a photo of him, but he had his back to me, and I sent you a photo of his back, and I found that in my phone the other day. I was like, Tim Schafer's back. There you go.
I remember that because we were outside the pub and like he was walking
And then he
past and I
came out,
waved at him and gave him the love heart and he was just like, really, for me? And I was just like, yay. Loved Tim Schafer. But yeah, Monkey Island would be a really good choice. I'm vaguely serious about the David Cage one just because like you could make a musical out of any of his games. Like Fahrenheit, you could, and then like the weird song is about how we find out he's dead and yet still fathered a child. Ooh. In Heavy Rain, it could be the Sean song. In Detroit Become Human, you could just steal any song from the black community and claim it's yours like you did with racism.
All right.
Is the Sean song just like 3 minutes of him yelling Sean, yeah?
Sean!
Yeah, it's a pantomime. It's a pantomime sequence. Where is he? Sean? And he pops up somewhere else, and then he pops up somewhere else, and then he gets hit by the car.
Hugh Jackman's in the lead, belting out some Seans.
You could just have a puppet of Sean behind his back, so wherever he turns, he's always in the opposite direction to where Sean is.
It's behind you!
I'd like to change my answer to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and just all the music Much like Queen We Will Rock You, just all the music is just songs from the soundtrack.
Green Day's American Idiot, the Broadway show.
Earlier than that. Bad Religion, that kind of stuff.
Fair enough.
Right, that is all the time we've got. We've gone a little bit over this week, but you probably don't care about that. You've just had a bit extra of a show. If you've got this far, well done you. We're going to be back next week, hopefully with a Dan. We're going to be talking about Ubisoft Forward, and I promise I'm definitely going to play The Last Campfire to talk about it next week. 3 weeks
Awesome.
now.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Yes, thanks for jumping on,
I'm sorry it's
Ed.
gone long. It's because I've unbalanced the dynamic.
The force.
And, I'm slowly working my way in. Eventually.
I don't think that's your fault, Ed. We go over enough that's definitely on us.
Yeah. He's going over, lads.
I'm finally going over.
Going over the top. Right.
This has been episode 406 of BRB UK, the Big Red Barrel UK podcast. We will see you next week. Well, we won't see you. You'll hear us, because that's how these work. And you might see us if you watch the YouTube version. Hello. There's the
That's
camera.
how that works.
Well, except me, because I didn't have a camera.
Yeah.
But, once again, thank you very much for having me. I'll look forward to listening to next week. And as you know, I'm here whenever. So thank you very much for having me. And I hope to be on again sometime soon.
Good. So, for this week, I have been Coleman.
I might have been Tim.
I was definitely maybe Ed.
Or a really buff
Maybe Ed.
devil.
Or a really sexy Satan. One of the two. There's no way you can know for sure.
We'll see you for 407. Goodbye.
Are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarrel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarrel.com.
Which comes with a figurine of the Turrican soldier guy, and I really want that figurine.
Called Terrican, because he's called Terry.
Yeah, Terry Can. That's his name.
Terry Can.
There's our episode title. So The Adventures of Terry Can.